off the play action. Allen hit as he throws, able to complete it. Diggs, and taillights time. Diggs is looking back, touchdown, and he stumbles into the end zone. It's a 50-yard pass play from Josh Allen for the Buffalo Bills.
And we're back with our episode of Follow Up in the Championship and introducing your new champion in the 9 Dicks, 1 Chick Fantasy League. It's the Gabagool! Where is he at? Here he comes! It's Paul Vento, the champion. All hail to you, sir. All hail to you.
What up? What's up, dude?
Dude, how's it
if you're
feel,
listening
man?
to this podcast, any amount since we started this, we kind of know what we're talking about. I think so, right?
Yeah, absolutely we do.
Just a little. So, I mean, look, I'm not going to say I won because you told me to start the Bears defense, but it definitely didn't hurt. It definitely didn't hurt. But ultimately, what was the score? It was like
157 to 130.
To 130. And, you can put a little screenshot of that here if you don't mind. It was 130 on a bad week for a really stacked team, but I have one man to thank, and I'll look at the camera for you if you're watching this, Mr. Stephon Diggs. Unreal, dude. You made my entire year. I will be placing a wager on the Bills to win the Super Bowl because I believe in you and Josh Allen. And I'll put my money where my mouth is with you. I love you. Thank you. 44 points. 43 touchdowns. I'm a week late. It doesn't matter. The hype is still here. Every time I think about that moment, it was unreal.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't go away. That does not go away at all. I don't think you were down 18 points you were down, and we were we were kind of walking on eggshells in the group chat. We're like, oh, did we say anything? I don't know, man. It's like New England, they, you know what I mean? They really play well, against the Bills, and yeah, as soon as that slant pass happened, oh man, I called you right up. I checked the score, and I was like, yo, dude, you did it!
My face turned red immediately. I was hanging out, I was laying down on the couch just watching, and I was like, okay, I'm not talking to anybody because the worst thing you can do is get your friends involved when you have something like this going on. And I'm like, the first quarter, Stephon Gilmore's not playing, but they're still kind of shutting him down.
Yeah.
And then we talked about this, but I forget his name already.
J.C. Jackson.
Yeah. He, on one play, Diggs and him, got in a little, verbal disagreement. And then from there on out, second quarter through the rest of the game, you saw it.
Yeah.
Diggs, he took it personally. And he put on, I don't know, that might be the best, well, except for Tyreek, maybe the best performance of any receiver this year. It couldn't have come at a better time.
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 games that stand out when it comes to that. Tyreek Hill's game, Stephon Diggs' game, and Tyler Lockett's game. I think it was whenever that week was against the Cardinals. But, yeah, dude, honestly, you took down the Goliath. I'll be straight up, I didn't think you had a chance. I thought it was going to be close.
Yeah.
But I thought, Derrick Henry, it was kind of like his matchups where they looked good for the most part. And
dodged the bullet there.
Yeah. Oh my God, yeah. But yeah, dude. So as you're moving into next season, is there any player that you're watching out for? Anybody that you're gonna have on your radar, or any player that you think is gonna shoot up the draft board?
J.K. Dobbins. It's, I'll be honest, I didn't watch any football really last weekend, but I saw his stat line. We'll probably see it in the playoffs. He's on a playoff team. The Ravens are going to lean on him, I think, a lot. And if they make a deep run, the thing that is really going to shoot his stock up is people are going to remember. They're going to be like, wow, this Dobbins dude popped off at the end of the year, and he might put on some big performances in the playoffs that obviously everyone will remember. So I can see him being a top 5 to top 7 pick in the running back, like not overall, but like for running backs next year. I would not be shocked.
So early second round, you're saying something like that?
I think so. And if he isn't, then I think you're getting a steal because I think he will finish in that range next year. The dude just makes the most of all his touches. He's not even being used as a true workhorse, and he's not even being used that much in the passing game. I think he's got a ton of like opportunity to grow. So I'm really excited about him.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing that the Ravens did was they stopped getting Mark Ingram the ball as much. You know, I think it was just time for them to switch over the workload, Yeah, so I thought that was a smart thing. I think the obvious choice too is Jonathan Taylor. He's starting to come on, which is really good. You know, for the Colts, the offense is starting to run through him, which is great. Phillip Rivers has a run game, which is important. It's taking the ball out of Phillip Rivers' hands, keeping everybody healthy, you know, keeping everyone into a rhythm. You can run the ball in the wintertime. That's how you win the games. That's how you close out the games. But Jonathan Taylor, he's a beast. He's you know, I think this is what everybody expected out of him when they drafted him super early. And now they kind of, like, now that they're seeing it, they're like, dude, what the, like, you couldn't do this before. But I think the stars are going to start aligning for him because Marlon Mack's going to be a free agent. I don't think they re-sign him. It's just going to be, it's going to be Jonathan Taylor's backfield. And as Jonathan Taylor just got more comfortable with the offense as the season rolled on, I think he's going, I think a lot of people are going to reach for him pretty early. I think, like,
he's going to be
6th to 10th pick. That's what I think.
Like, what running backs are people gonna take over him? You have Cook, Kamara, McCaffrey, Henry,
and that's probably it. I mean, you can make the argument for Zeke, but off what? Not this year. Yeah, you can't do it for Saquon either. That offense, the Giants' offense looks horrendous, and I don't even want to imagine it with Saquon healthy. I don't think that would have made that much of a difference anyway. But,
so Jonathan Taylor's going to slide right into that spot.
Yeah, I think he would definitely be in like 6 or 7.
Next year is going to be a really interesting year for running backs. You have guys like Antonio Gibson, who people forget about now, who could finish as a top 5 guy. You know, Taylor, you have Dobbins. It's a new class of guys that are coming to the top, but you still have guys like, you know, we're going to have people reaching for guys like Melvin Gordon still. We're going to have people reaching for the big names that, you know, the James Connors. But I'm telling you, man, we got to pay attention to what's going on in the playoffs, see who's emerging as, you know, maybe that first year, second year guy that's getting more, you know, workload. And that really carries over into the next year, you know, barring any big coaching changes. Because I think a lot of people, they remember their team from this year. And then once they're bounced out, they might be, you know, a 4-9 team, and they didn't pay attention to any of the trends that went on.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
Being in the playoffs in both leagues probably helps you because, and you just watch football in general. It's like you're gonna catch on and be like, okay, when people in my league are taking, you know, a Melvin Gordon, like, thank you, because I can, you know, get Antonio Gibson, I can get all these guys. So this is where really there's an opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. Just pay attention to what's going on. And now free agency's starting. So Aaron Jones,
I can't wait for that. Yeah.
I don't think the Packers re-sign him. They might franchise tag him, but after the past week where we saw
AJ Dillon.
Thank you. We saw AJ Dillon take over and he looked great. So I really don't see them showing out the money, especially because running back is such a position you can just replace. Like we've seen it.
Yeah. How many times have we seen him be out and Jamal Williams just plugs right in?
Yeah, and that's not exactly.
There's no reason to pay that guy, and you know he'll go somewhere. He'll do, you know, he'll get his money, but
I think his production drops. So that's another thing that I wanted to bring up. So there's guys that had those years where they're like, oh my gosh, it's such an impossible. Like this year was crazy. Like Michael Thomas last year, like Christian McCaffrey last year. You can't predict injuries, of course. But you know they when you drafted those guys, they busted. You're a bust. Like that whole team was, you had to adjust that whole team. Like what your fantasy team was
most likely you didn't win a championship because that's a lot of draft capital.
Yeah. So that's like the one thing to, you know, you can't really expect the player you're drafting to be the same production as last year. So, I took Michael Thomas over. I took Michael Thomas over Dalvin Cook. Yeah, I'm kicking myself for that one, dude. Like, I don't even, you know what I mean? But yeah, like you said, recency bias. Broke the reception, like we're a PPR league, and I was like, dude, this guy's gonna be solid.
Safe pick.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
And just completely backfired.
Yeah, and I think like that logic still is gonna be what it's always gonna be. Like in the first round, you're just looking to not screw the pick up.
Yeah.
And it wasn't any fault of your own, like you said, the injury, but that just goes to show, like, another point about my championship roster was the only guys that I drafted were Diggs and Kelsey.
Yeah.
Like, next year, I'm making it a priority to not draft the names. I'm going after, like, I get really, like, I don't get excited and I don't pick these rookies. Like you picked Antonio Gibson in August, and I said I don't know a damn thing about this guy. I'm not touching him. He's on Washington. He's a rookie. He didn't go to a big school. Like, I'll let someone else like dropping him or make the mistake. But it's not a mistake. Those are the guys that are on your roster late in the year.
Mm-hmm.
And every year I'm drafting a guy like a safe bet, like someone who has proven themselves and is like a veteran. But you don't win championships with veterans because their output, it's not going to probably go up, or you are disappointed. But with these rookies or late picks, like, they have the ceiling that nobody knows.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know how I got here, but that's just like, I think it goes back to like to really like just how you're thinking about these guys like Antonio Gibson and like their potential.
Yeah, no, the running backs. I mean, I think back to it. I remember texting the group chat. Like, I had Jonathan Taylor, I had Gibson, but I was more bragging about the fact that I had Mark Ingram and Kareem Hunt as my running back 2 and 3.
At the moment.
Like, and it's like, I got Ingram. Like, are you kidding? Like, that's an easy, solid running back 2. That's done. Like, of course I'll take that. And then, like we said earlier, as the season went on, Ingram just got completely phased out of the Ravens' offense.
Think about it.
So,
what could you do differently next year? It's like, now I know if a team like the Ravens, what was Dobbins, a second-round pick?
Yeah, he was.
Something like that. Like, that draft capital means, is Mark Ingram gonna be safe for 16 weeks? Probably not. Because
that's a good point.
Ownership's going to be knocking on the coach's door and saying, hey, why'd you make me, pay this running back $2 million this year if you're not going to use him? So I think that's something to watch, like to either get that guy or to fade the starter, because, you could go out there and you could have got – who's the starter for the Redskins before it was it McKissick going into the year?
He was a free agent. So last year it was Geis. Geis and Peterson.
Okay. Yeah.
Geis and Peterson was still on the roster.
But either way, like, we've been harping on this all year. It's like getting that draft right. It's not a make or break, but if you're in a position like Gar's was, it was the reason why he was there. Mm-hmm. So you can get there because of the draft. But I know we wanted to dive in a little bit because, I mean, it's playoff time, man. Like, real playoff time.
Here we are.
We're both going to be doing a bracket of our own. And tomorrow we'll actually look at this a little bit in depth. But let's go through, some of the matchups and talk about what we think, what teams we like.
Yeah.
We'll start, like, with the AFC side, right?
Okay.
We were talking about this game a little bit earlier. Ravens, Titans, another matchup between these two teams. I feel like we see them play so often.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, both 11-5, and
I'm excited. I think this is going to be a good game. I think this is the real revenge factor for the Ravens. They were 14-2 last year, and they got bounced because they looked horrible. And quite frankly, they just looked horrible on offense.
Bounced by the Titans.
Yeah, and they couldn't stop. They couldn't stop anybody. They couldn't stop Derrick Henry. But this is what they did. Like, they knew they were going to have to face them again in the playoffs. They knew that going into the next season. So what do? They trade for Calais Campbell. They trade for Yannick Ngakoue. and they sign Derek Wolfe. These run-stopping guys, and then you got another pass rusher to go along with your already strong rotation. So they knew this going into the season that this
we didn't have an answer for this last year. We got to shore it up.
Here's our position of need. How are we going to fix it? This is what we're going to do. And they drafted a first-round linebacker. And here they are. Now their defense is great. Their secondary is always fantastic. So I think the Ravens take it home, honestly. I think this is the real game where they have to prove something here. They have to win this game. This is a must-win game for them. I know it's obviously playoffs, like all games are must-win games. Yeah. But for the Ravens to really prove that they're an AFC threat, they have to take it home. They have to.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're hitting on the right points there. Like, they're hot right now, and they're no one in that locker room has forgotten about what happened last year. They were the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. They had Super Bowl hopes, and they're not going to forget the team that did it to them. I really like that they can run the ball on anybody, and that goes well with their defense. That's a great pair to have right there. And at the end of the day, the Titans cannot stop a nosebleed on defense. They were giving up like 30 points to the Lions, and they all year it's been shootouts. And I like the Ravens to kind of slow the game down, and they'll move on. What about Browns and Steelers? We saw these two match up last week. I think we talked about this off pod, but the Steelers, I mean, it's the same thing. It's like the motivation. It's like, okay, the Browns are happy to get to the playoffs finally. Do they really expect to do anything? Even now with their coach being, ruled out, for the week. Like, how do you prepare a team when you're not really, in your full, capacity? So I think the Steelers, they rested their stars last week. They didn't put out too much more tape on themselves. And, I'll take Mike Tomlin in the playoffs over a rookie coach with a first-year Baker Mayfield in the playoffs. Yeah, no,
I agree. I think the Steelers are another team that I think they have a lot to prove in this playoffs. They were 11-0, and then they lost 3 straight where everyone...
The whole league trashed them.
Media is criticizing league, players, fans. They're all criticizing them, saying, these guys aren't legit. Now it's okay, I don't trust the Browns. Unfortunately, one, they're going to be missing a lot of pieces. Who knows how this COVID thing's going to be affecting them, but... The Browns let a really close game happen this past Sunday with Mason Rudolph as the quarterback.
It's pretty bad.
That's better. Not
Is
good.
Big Ben even that much worse?
It's just so it's just bizarre to me. And then you hear Pittsburgh's resting a lot of their starters, so it's I'm happy. It's definitely a feel good story for the Browns. First time into the playoffs in 18 years or something along those lines. But I don't see them taking it home. I really think that the Steelers have something more to prove here. Just to say, this is everybody wrote us off. That's if I'm Mike Tomlin, that's exactly how I'm getting everybody hyped in my locker room. Everybody wrote us off, and it's a division game too. It's let's punch these guys in the mouth. This is why we're here. So
we let them get a dub last week, but we got them right where we want them.
Yeah. Get the Browns all cocky, we made the playoffs, woo! And now it's now it's okay, dude.
You see this all the time, in any sport with betting, they always say, there's value in betting the team that are betting against the team that just came off a huge win, a huge win. And it is because, they're still on that high, they're not focused.
Yeah.
I like the Steelers. Speaking of coming off a high, we got the Bills and the Colts. I put a little wager on the Bills to win the Super Bowl. That might have been induced by my Bills love for the past couple weeks, but I think this is another similar spot where the Colts, no one's talking about them, dude, and it's kind of freaking me out. They're not a bad team at all, and they have a decent defense and an experienced quarterback, good coaching. And Jonathan Taylor getting hot at the right time, and the Buffalo Bills defense is not that,
not friendly against the run
defense at all.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. It's going to be interesting. I think so. These are the 2 games that I'm looking out for: the Bills and Colts, and the Ravens and Titans. This is Josh Allen's prove it game, his prove it year. Last year he had Houston, but now he lit up the year. Yeah. he lit it up this year. Now he's got something to prove too. But the Colts, man, if there was any matchup that I didn't want to happen for the Colts, because I like the Colts, I would like to see them move on. But I like the Bills more, so I don't want to see them go against each other. And so it's kind of disappointing in that aspect of things. But, yeah, I think the Bills have it. If they get out hot to, like, a fast start, I don't think Phillip Rivers has... I don't think he has it to get him back. And it's going to be freezing. Who knows what the weather's going to be like up in Buffalo? Do you think it's going to be a snow game, like crazy?
They're going to have fans.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's the other thing, too. Yeah, so...
That's a good point.
I like the Bills a lot. I mean, I know that the Colts have a great defense. They looked on fire in the first 8 weeks of the season, but they seem to be letting up some points, and it's just like, all right, well, they could be exposed, and this is how they're going to be exposed. So, yeah, I like the Bills.
And another thing with the Bills is they have that camaraderie, and I know it sounds like it shouldn't be a thing that goes into your decision, but it just reminds me of the Eagles in 2017, where the guys just look like they're having fun. The team likes their teammates.
What's that like, man? I'm gonna see that again.
Where did that go? Let's move over to the NFC real quick.
Yeah, here we go.
Start with the Bucks and Washington football team. I just don't see a way where the Washington can
not on offense. No. I can't see their offense. And that's the thing, too. They have such a great defense. And we've heard it over the years, right? That's how you beat Tom Brady. You got to hit him. This is the defensive line to hit the guy. And it's not in Tampa. It's going to be cold. And is, he's not going to want to get hit. Who the hell wants to get hit in the cold? But unfortunately, I feel like what's going to happen is the defense is going to play really, really well. But the Washington football team, they're not going to be able to move the ball. And, it's a shame. I think Alex Smith, his comeback story is fantastic. But I just don't see them having enough firepower on offense to really do anything.
What? I saw Mike Evans had a bad leg injury.
Ooh.
Is he out?
I don't see him playing. So you didn't watch football, you said. So it wasn't like he got tangled up or hit or anything like that. He was running into the end zone and it was a target, and he hyperextended it, and it just looked rough.
It didn't go the way it was supposed to go.
Yeah, no, I think if anything, they use him as a decoy if he lines up. But I don't. They shouldn't line him up. I don't think they should play him, because I think if they win, then what? Then you know what I mean? You just got a guy you could have rested, but now he's even more sore. So
yeah.
That's going to be something to watch for.
I think he lost. That's his favorite target down the stretch. That's his deep ball target. I think this could be a close game. I think that Washington could keep Tom Brady's passes in front of them. They're gonna maybe the Bucks, their offense is kind of in disarray. They have to rely on Ronald Jones a little bit more, and Bruce Arians. I don't care if it's Tom Brady. I just don't trust that man.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah, and the games that the Bucks have lost this year, the Saints games, the Chiefs games, the offenses are a little bit more impressive, but I don't know. I just, who knows? Because we've never seen this Bucks team in the playoffs, so it's kind of even if they get past this one, I don't know what team we got here, but they got hot at the end of the year. Let's get it going here. Seahawks, Rams. If Goff is out,
I'm taking Seahawks regardless if Goff is in or out. I think
what Goff do you even get, and what is Goff?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like the Seahawks. I think they have the offense to really do it, to really put them away.
Right.
They have the pieces. They got Russell Wilson. They got Tyler Lockett. Chris Carson's back. He's healthy. He can run the ball. DK Metcalf. And it sucks because you expected that the Seahawks would be able to get hot at the right time or this part of the season, but no, they kind of just been scraping by where they're getting these wins, and now they draw a divisional opponent in the first round. It's a trap game. I could see it easily being a trap game for Seattle, where they could be sleepless in Seattle, where they can just fall and then they just think it's going to be an easy win. But yeah,
we'll see, man. It's interesting because I think if if I'm the Rams, I try to win that game just keeping Russell Wilson off the field. Like, if Cam Akers is back, I'm running the shit out of the ball. Like, I am eating clock, like, let my defense go to work. That defense is still, got two of the best playmakers in the league.
Yeah, literally.
So, we've been disappointed by the Seahawks all year. They lost to the Giants, like, in Seattle. Come on. We can't think of this as the Seahawks of the past. Like, they're streaky this year. And then we got the Saints against the Bears.
This is going to be interesting. This is going to be
what Saints do we have right now?
Yeah. Drew Brees
Brees is like, it's not a team where you expect them to put up 40 anymore. The running back situation, is Kamara even going to be eligible to return?
That's a big question mark. Yeah.
The Saints are beatable. The Eagles beat them. Like, this game is not a layup at all. And the Bears, they have a good run game right now, and Mitch, I'd say he could ball out a little bit more, disrespect to Drew Brees and what his career has been, but the dude's playing with like half broken ribs.
Yeah.
And I like the Bears defense too, man. Like, this is a closer one than people think, I think.
Yeah, I agree. There's two things that I want to watch out for on the Bears. I want to see what Matt Nagy does because, like you said, you brought it up. The Eagles were able to beat the Saints by running the ball. It was there. Like, read options were there. Trubisky is a mobile quarterback. He's more of a mobile quarterback. David Montgomery he got hurt. I know you didn't watch, but he did get banged up on his knee where he kind of like, but he came back and he seemed like he was okay, so hopefully that's something to monitor. But that's what I want to see. I want to see how Matt Nagy games plans. Is it keep the Saints off the field? Is it really run the ball? Like, what? Another thing I want to watch out for, well, kind of like a minor thing, Michael Thomas, is he back? I know they put him on IR. I don't know if they're going to reactivate him because, whatever his injury is. But the other thing that I want to look out for here is this is a prove-it game for Trubisky, and if he plays like Trubisky, are we going to see Nick Foles, man? Are we going to see some, you know what I mean? Like, are we going to see Foles replace Trubisky here?
Yeah. I'll be texting you when that game's on. It's like, I could just see it right now. Like, Trubisky is like struggling. It's like 17-3 and going into the half, and like they trot Foles out there. And
gosh, man. I can imagine that. I can really imagine it.
I mean, if I'm Trubisky, this is my career on the line.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but like, if he wins this game, his job is safe. Probably, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
And if he loses it, they're drafting a quarterback next year or trading up to get one, maybe. Because if he lays out stinkers, so we talk about motivation and who has it and who doesn't. I think Trubisky has a little bit more. Whether or not that translates into anything, we'll see. But I think I'll take the Bears here. You gotta mix in a few upsets. We had the 6-seed Titans take out the 1-seed Ravens last year. I was looking at the bracket. We had a few like you can't take the obvious picks. If it was that easy, then Vegas wouldn't exist. So
exactly
upsets, right? And we still got the Chiefs and the Packers looming out there, and two of them are people's Super Bowl favorites. I tend to think the Chiefs are on a different stratosphere than the Packers.
Mm-hmm. Agree. So who do you have as your Super Bowl team? Like, are you're 100% sticking with the Bills?
Right now, yeah. I think I have to stick with my gun. I just think history doesn't lend itself to a team winning back-to-back.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, are the Chiefs the best, chance in my mind to win it? Probably, but that's just not going to happen, I don't think.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think that. I can't see the Chiefs repeating. I can't. I mean, I can see them going far. I don't expect them to get knocked out in the divisional. Maybe they get to the championship, then get knocked out.
Right. Just the Bills are such a dynamic team, and like I like the Ravens a lot, but Lamar's passing is not going to win a Super Bowl. I don't think. Like when he throws the ball, it's still not impressive, and they're beatable. But the Bills, you can't game plan for Josh Allen. Like he just breaks the game, and I think the Bills are obviously going to have to beat the Chiefs to get to the Super Bowl, I think. And once they get there, if they beat the Chiefs in the championship game or something, who's going to beat them? Like, they're going to be through the roof. Dude.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to be ecstatic. Like, it's going to be their year. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, so ironically, you kind of
don't agree with me.
No, you attacked the team that I wanted to pick. I think I like the Ravens a lot. Honestly, they had the coaching staff to get there. They have something to prove. So if you remember last year or 2 years ago when the Chiefs like really came out and they were on fire, right? And everybody was sweating the Chiefs like this is such a new offense. Patrick Mahomes won MVP, and then out of nowhere, the Ravens came up and they kind of took the spotlight away from the Chiefs as if the Chiefs just suddenly went 7-9 or something along those lines. They went 12-4 last year, if I'm not mistaken, and then they win the Super Bowl. So now I'm thinking, here the Ravens are. The spotlight's no longer on them. Now they can like really focus and say like, okay, good. We don't have the media attention. That's fine. We don't need that media attention. Now we're gonna win. This is what we got to focus. This is where we have a game plan. You know, we're not like hyping each other up. We're not getting each other excited. Like, oh my God, it's gonna be Breeze. Like we got Lamar. I really think that I'm glad we're both picking AFC teams because the NFC it's a dumpster fire, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But I like Baltimore. I like Baltimore a lot.
Yeah. I'd like to see them too. You know, the Bills and the Ravens in the championship game. I think.
Yeah.
I like what you said there. Like the Ravens. How often is the team who's in the spotlight all year, they're just set up for a letdown?
Mm-hmm.
This year, they're really low flying profile, and they're dangerous. They have experience. They have a good coach. They have a good defense. They have a dynamic offense, and no one wants to play in Baltimore. I don't think they would have a home playoff game, but Lamar can he can break the game. I mean,
we'll see. I mean, my dream Super Bowl matchup is Baltimore and Seattle. I would love to see that. I think that, and then I think Baltimore would ultimately win. But
why Seattle?
I just think
the playmakers.
Yeah, the playmakers that they have. There's nobody. There's just nobody on the NFC side that really excites me. I mean, like I said, the Seahawks don't really excite me either a whole lot. But out of the options given here, they're a hell of a lot more exciting than the Bears. A lot more exciting than the Rams. Yeah, it's just there's just not something that really just like catches my eye on that side. And
I know. The one thing that kind of like I would root for is Rodgers just to get another ring.
Yeah, that's true.
It's been what, like, did he win in 2010? Like, it's been that long.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah, we were starting high school. We were starting high school when that happened.
So I think like I like his story this year because how much talk was there about, oh my God, they drafted Jordan Love. Like, it's not going in this year. No one expected except him, and he bet on himself, and he's playing lights out, man.
Yeah.
And I talk about like kind of flying under the radar. Like, there might be the most under the radar one seed. Like, no one's really thinking about them. That's all the attention's on the Bills, on the Chiefs, and Rodgers is kind of just that guy. Like, who just goes out there and he could beat anybody on any day, and Davante Adams is just
I mean even the Bucs, like on the NFC side, he's like Tom Brady, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's a home playoff game, like home Super Bowl. It's never been happening. I guarantee you'll hear that 7 times, like when we're watching the Washington Bucs game. Like, it's just going to be nonstop.
Yeah, and I think the Bucs are. I don't think they're going to get there. I don't think they're going to get close because everyone's going to focus on Tom Brady, but one player does not get you there, and especially a 42-year-old Tom Brady. Like, Tom Brady was able to get them there because of the cast around him, the coaches around him. Like, it doesn't matter what, he might have done in the past. This is the Bucs.
Yeah, totally different offense, totally different coaching. This is a new thing. So
right, we'll see, man. We'll see. But it's gonna be good. Finally, to have some meaningful football. It's been a crazy season, and I'm glad that we were able to get the full fantasy year in, so I could get some money out of this.
Yeah,
and wager it on some of these playoff games, but
get some more money. But yeah, dude, thank you everyone for tuning in and watching again. Thanks for following up on the championship for Paul. Let us know what your Super Bowl picks are. Like, who do you have in the comments? Reach out to us on the Instagram, all that stuff, and then
football team, baby.
and then we'll give you a wrap up next week, and we'll dive into it a little bit more.
Yeah, you'll be hearing from us soon, guys.